Hey guys, it's King Eli here, and today we're going to be doing a coolant flush on the 2019 Ram 500 Classic, right? So, I know it's been a while since I posted a video. I got some more content coming out for y'all. As y'all can see, we have this cold air intake that's dirty, so some content, or I'll be making a YouTube short on how to clean your cold air intake, and hopefully some content on how to change out the spark plugs, right? So as you can see, this is the engine, and long story short, we've been running the wrong coolant in the engine this whole time. So in cases where the coolant was low or the truck may have overheated in the past, we always just went to, like, an advanced auto parts or like a QT, got the regular, all vehicle coolant, and it's been working for all these miles. But upon research, you're supposed to use a specific coolant for these trucks, which I'm about to show y'all now. So this right here is the Peak Original Equipment Tech, right? Make sure you get the OAT Organic Acid Technology, either purple or orange. And you should see, it would either say any of these, like Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Chrysler, all of that. And the one that we got is a 50-50, so that we don't gotta actually mix the coolant with the water. But it's important for y'all to get the OAT equipment. I don't know the technicalities behind it, but that's what it's supposed to be running. And y'all know the 2018 Sport, I did a coolant flush on it, and it actually was running some better, cooler numbers. So hopefully it'll do the same for this other truck. Now, we're either gonna need about 2 or 3 bottles of this. It should be about 2 to fill it up, but we got some more just in case. And for this coolant flush process, we're gonna need at least six bottles of distilled water. Make sure I get distilled water. And also, we're going to need, this is what I have. If y'all got something else, y'all could use something else. But I got this water bottle with this hose on top of it and this bucket to clear out all the old coolant out of. So let's get started. First, I'm gonna show y'all what this bottle is for, and then we're gonna get under the truck and start draining that out. Right here, this is your coolant overfill reservoir, and the only way that I know of to get the old coolant from out of here is to use a bottle with this tube, or if y'all got like a straw or something y'all could use, try that. Probably like a free kind of DIY type of example was like, if you get like a spray bottle and take that little tube out the spray bottle, if y'all don't have a bigger tube than this, because I got this from like a brake bleeding kit, and I just put it in here, and it works good. So you just take, what the world? Oh, there's no coolant in here? Yo, that's crazy. Alright, moving on. Unexpected, but moving on. Since there is nothing in here, I won't be able to show y'all that example right now. Open this cap. So you're gonna push down on it, just like that. And it'll pop up like that. See? The green coolant. Supposed to be using purple. Oh gosh. Yeah, some of this got on my mouth, but it's all good. Once you take this off, just be prepared for a whole bunch of coolant to splash everywhere. It is time to get under the vehicle. So let me make sure I have my tool here to take that cap off. You'll need a tool similar to this to where you can clamp on to the screw and get it loosened. Once you get under, you should see all the engine parts, the bumper, it's metal right there. When you look up right here, let me see if I can get a focus on it, point at it. This right here, you're going to be loosening this. Now, the last time I was under here, I noticed that there was a coolant leak. So here's what I did. I got, you know, like those shish kebab sticks, those like pieces of wood with the tip at the end of it. I literally just got that, wrapped some, you know, blue glove around it, and I stuck it in the hole. So I don't know why they designed it like this, because even with the other truck, it's the same issue. But on this truck and the other truck, it's like this with this little hole on the bottom. So once you get it on there, because it's kind of tight, I'm not able to do it with my hand. So I gotta get this loose, just like that. Oh, let me try to back up here. Might have to get this loose. And crack it loose just like that. Once you do that, the fluid should start coming out. And you want to just, let me get myself positioned. Yep. So it'll keep coming out, y'all, so just let that run out. Once you see that it's draining out like this, nice and slow, or if y'all want to wait more, y'all can, but I'm about to cover it up now, and then we'll get back to the top of the engine. Now that we are at the top, you want to fill up the coolant that is in your radiator, and you want to fill up your coolant reservoir. So I got 2 bottles, 2 jugs of 1 gallon distilled water. About to start pouring it in there. Bottle 1. We are still on bottle 1. As y'all can see, it is most of the way finished, and we are getting some bubbles here. Once you see it starts to do that, and it's letting all the air bubbles are out, kind of like, you know, when you burp after you fill yourself up with food. That's basically what it's doing. So once we move on to the last flush, you're gonna have to wait and make sure that all the bubbles get out. But for however many flushes you're doing, you don't have to wait for every single one to come out. We're only going to be doing how much? Three flushes in total, right? Either 2 or 3. So this is the first flush that we just did. Once y'all fill this up, according to your patience, fills this up, and then we'll move on to the next step. Also, make sure you guys fill up your reservoir to the max line. Let me see if I can get it focused. Y'all can see that bubble that's right there by max. Make sure y'all got it filled up to there. Once you have filled these 2 things up, you're gonna go on ahead and start the truck up. Start it. Turn it some more. More. One more time. Make sure y'all close this up. As as y'all can see, the coolant temp is cold as it's supposed to be. Right now it's at 114. It's supposed to be around 200, alright? And y'all can see that the thermostat temperature still on cold. Y'all want to get it to right next to this middle line here, and then once it's operating in normal temperatures, wait another 10-15 minutes, and then turn the truck off, let it cool down, and then once it cools down, we're going to have to do the same process. Also, important step, make sure you turn the heat on, turn it all the way up. Just like that. Okay, you guys, as you can see, the temperature is at 208. That's what it normally runs on, around 208, 212. And the gauge is close to the middle. Remember, it's supposed to be a little bit before the middle. So if yours is like right on the middle, or if it's past that, then something could possibly be wrong, but it's always like this all the time. So this nighttime, y'all, we about to wrap up. Hopefully do this again in the morning for the next 2 flushes, because remember, we gotta wait for the engine to cool all the way down. I would advise to wait until the engine is cold, but if y'all want to do it when it's a little bit warm to save time, it's up to y'all. But if you guys do it hot and do not wait for the engine to get cold, the chances of you opening the coolant and it splash all over you is high. It will splash. Ask me how I know. You don't want to find out. So I catch y'all, Lord willing, in the morning. Peace. Good morning, guys. It's King Eli. We are back. It's now the morning. The truck has fully cooled down. One way that I've noticed you could check if the truck is fully cooled down. This hose normally flattens when the truck is nice and cool, but when it's hot and running, it's more so like a perfect circle. But anyways, now I'll actually be able to show y'all what this tube is for, what the bottle and tube is for, and you probably can't see, but there's some coolant still left in there. So first, just we're going to drain out the coolant like we did the last time, flush it out. I'm not going to be recording that nasty process again, but do that first and then we get to this part. Y'all, I just figured out a magic trick. I must tell y'all. Hold on. Alright, so 2 things, right? As y'all can see, I got my chair right here. So I was thinking to myself, instead of me doing it from under the truck, let me try to do it from on top. Now, let me try to get the camera angle, because I'm used to doing it from the bottom, but from the top of the engine, you come over here, it's not that difficult to get under where the to where the coolant's actually leaking from. So you don't have to actually get splashed with a whole bunch of coolant. And I also forgot to take the cap off. So what I would advise y'all to do is to slide the bucket under there first. Take it off. Take the screw off, and it'll start dripping out slowly because it's not any air being pulled out to push that the water out. But once you take the cap off, it'll just start splashing out quickly, and you don't have to get all messy, right? So while we wait on that, I'm gonna show y'all what we're supposed to be doing with the bottle. Alright, so what you want to do is insert this in here. But before you do that, right, push the bottle down, just like that. Then you wanna get the tube down and then pull back up. What in the world? Okay, did what I think just happened happen? Alright, we're gonna have to check this again. Where is all the coolant? Oh, I see. Alright, so it seems like, I mean, unless the tube can't come in, how about we check the level? Let's see what the level is on it. Okay, it's pretty low. So, y'all can see how long this stick is. Tube is probably not going to reach. But it was at the max line, as I showed you earlier. So, I am guessing that some of this has leaked out from being drained. But going off of what I did last time, stick the bottle in there, you know, pull it back up. But now we're gonna move on to doing the next step. So as you can see, it's fully drained out. We're about to cover this back up, and just like last time, just get your water and fill up the radiator, the overfill reservoir. Alright, y'all, so I used the method that I showed y'all earlier, and as y'all can see, you know, to get the fluid out of the reservoir, and it's mostly clear, which is good. So I'm gonna just pour it back in, and that's what we're aiming for. So remember, like I said earlier, we will do 2 to 3 flushes, right? So we already did 2. So this third one is gonna be the last one, and after that we could just put the coolant in. All right, so make sure y'all put this back. You screw the radiator screw back on the bottom, and repeat the process of turning your truck on, running the heat on high, all of that good stuff. We are back. It has been a few hours. The truck has had some time to cool down a bit, and it is time to drain out the water so that we could add the coolant. This will be the last step of this whole process. So for this step, you just want to make sure, like we did the first time, come from the top, loosen it, let all the water drain out the system. Make sure all the water's out the overfill reservoir, or at least most of it. And also make sure that you tighten it back tight too, because this whole time I was just using my hand for the process, but I'm most likely going to end up using that tool just to make sure it's nice and snugged on there. And yeah, so let's get to that. As y'all can see, it is all drained out. It didn't really take that long. So now we're going to put this cap back on. As y'all can see, I got my tool here. We'll just make sure that's nice and tight. Not too tight, don't over tighten it because it is plastic. So if you do that, it may crack something. And now we're going to move on to pouring the coolant in. Now if there's a little bit of water in here, as you can see, it's going to be okay. You can leave that there. For the tube, or the tubes that I have with the bottle and everything, it's not sucking up all of the water that's, you know, water and coolant mixture that's left on the bottom. But y'all could leave that. As y'all can see, this is 1 gallon. So it's most likely going to be the same, just like how we did it with the water. It may just take 1 of this plus about maybe a 4 for a half of that one. But we'll see how this goes. Okay, as y'all can see, we have gotten this filled up. I poured it in kind of slowly. more towards the end, so there might be some more bubbles in here, but we'll see how that works and how that plays out. But for now, this is filled up, and this is the second bottle, as you can see. And like I said, we're about, look, got a quarter out of it so far. So now we're about to fill up the coolant reservoir with purple coolant, and make sure it goes to the max line. If you guys do happen to go past it, like you overfill your reservoir, and just use the tube and get that extra coolant out. Okay, so let's turn the flash on. Got some coolant in there, right? So alright, that's how it looks. Yeah. No, don't tell me we're past it. Alright, we gotta take some out. It's a bit too full. We are finally at the last steps, y'all. Okay? So, as y'all heard me say, I did overfill this. So, I already dealt with that. I got, drained some of it out, or used the tube to get some of it out. As you can see, we are at the max line right there. On your coolant stick, there should be a max. Make sure that there's a bubble of coolant where that max symbol is at. Alright, so before we start the engine, just dry up a little bit of the areas that you may have spilled coolant at. Unless you're 100% pro, you didn't spill anything, good job for you. And, well, we're going to start the engine, so let's give it a shot. As y'all can see, we are straight to cover it back up now. Like that. And some coolant, well, a pretty good amount of coolant spilled all over the floor. So we're gonna back up. Make sure there's no coolant leaks or nothing leaking under the truck from like the engine, the cooling system. Alright, so let's do that. Also, while you're in here, make sure that your heat is still running high, because even right now it is cold. Even though it says high, it is running cold right now. That's normal. You just have to give it some time and it'll get hot again. As y'all could see, there are no leaks. Get under. Nothing leaking. So, the last step to do is to give it a test drive for a few minutes. Make sure everything is operating correctly. You know, the heat in the vehicle and the temperature, to make sure that it's running cooler than before or its normal running temperature. Okay, as you guys can see, the truck is running cool. We did the test drive, we drove it around a couple times, and the temperatures are looking good. 210, around those temperatures, 208, 212, and it is not overheating. It's definitely been a noticeable difference when driving, so I would definitely advise you guys to change your spark plugs every 100,000 miles. But also, if you guys do experience the truck overheating after you do the coolant flush, because that did happen. I did the coolant flush, was going to do the test drive, and then the truck started overheating. So what I would tell you guys to do is to start the truck once you guys have the new coolant, the new purple coolant. Let it run for like 20-25 minutes with the heat off, and then after you see it's running cool, then try to put the heat on like that. Because I tried turning it on, letting it idle with the heat all the way up, it started overheating, had to turn the truck off. Alright, so I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure you guys do your proper maintenance on you guys' vehicle and expect more videos to come. Alright, so shalom and see y'all next time. Also guys, one last note. I know I said I was done with the video, but you will have to do a brake bleed on your vehicle when you're changing the spark plugs, because you got the brake booster, the brake reservoir. It's gonna be in your way to take the spark plugs out from what I've tried. So I did have to take the brake reservoir out of the truck, bleed the braking system, put new brake fluid in it. So just something to keep in mind if you guys are planning to do a spark plug change on your truck or your vehicle. Alright, that's it. Hope y'all have a nice day.